Oh. Chapter 15. Okay. Hold on. I think I'm going to go straight into chapter 15. Unless it's super long, in which case I'll cut it up. The camera shake is not helping things here. Don't know what that thing was up there. Oh, probably you. Yeah. Grab everything that I can on the way. Yeah, I heard you. Oh, I've got to stop doing that. Nope. Running. What did I just miss then? That's some energy. Text log? Here? Sure. To anyone who may find this transmission, there are people, even some of my own staff, who say I'm a monster for what I brought to this station. They say the marker is manipulative, that it influenced my decisions. They don't understand that what I did for this community, for our species. The station was a dead husk before I breathed life back into it with government research grants. That research into unimaginable sources of energy, into manufacturing techniques and efficiencies far beyond all previous understanding is the only hope that remains for mankind. We have relied on destructive planet cracking for far too long, and now we can no longer sustain ourselves. We need the markers to survive. If we fail in our efforts to understand them, there is no hope left for humanity. Not entirely sure how the markers are helping. Oh, save points. Okay. Hello?
The research in that marker is worth every life we just lost.
Jeez. What? Excuse me? Oh, there's a...
Every life we just lost.
Huh? There's a prompt, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Unless it's a prompt that lets me... Ah, I see. I'm supposed to be pressing forwards at the same time.
I won't let you throw all this away.
There we go. Ooh, that's gonna hurt in the morning. Whoa. Hugs time. Oh.
Thank you, Isaac. Now, time to die.
What?
Whoa. We're going back to the main menu?
Yours is the last body we need to be reborn. The Makers must be absorbed.
The Makers? You mean me? But Strauss said we could destroy the marker.
Not if we consume you first.
Oh, good.
I trusted you. Fuck you. And fuck your marker.
Oh, shit. Oh, good. This is terrible! No shit! Oh dear. Okay. So that's what happens if you let her get too close to you. Good to know. Let's try that again, shall we? Oh, damn it. Oh, I did a thing. Whoop. I assume that was success. I like the fact that that rig is at red. So he came to terms with Nicole and got played anyway. Gotta feel sorry for him. And yes, GG, end of game, except not, because Ellie's going to come and save us. I vaguely recall that being a thing. It's a...
You complete bastard. Was this your great plan? Dump me off and die?
Full of bad ideas, remember?
Yeah, well, here's another one. I'm crashing through the roof to get you. Now move your ass.
Wait, no, Ellie, it's too late. So clear of the station.
Yeah, well, you don't really have a say this time. Heads up.
You think? Whee! Oh, I actually do have to do things here. Nice. I'm grabbing! I'm tapping it as hard as I can! Hatch shut. Kaboom. Now I seem surprisingly okay, considering. Some pixely hair you've got there, Isaac. Nicole's not sat in the seats. Woohoo!
What?
Yeah, nice callback to the first game. And then we get the actual credits. Ah, dear. Yeah, so in terms of plotting, the latter kind of third of the game was much better in terms of its storytelling. Not that there was anything necessarily wrong with the first 2/3 of the game, it's just that it became so much more interesting towards the end. As soon as, you know, we were starting to go through those stages of grief, it really felt like the game was setting you up for one thing, and then of course it pulls the rug from underneath you right at the end. Which, to some players, it might feel like you were cheated out of I can't say happy ending for Isaac, because of the very nature of, you know, what he's going through. But the chemistry between Isaac and Ellie is obviously a big part of what a player is most likely going to enjoy, or at least I do. I can't speak for everybody. You know, their banter was great. But Isaac had all of that emotional baggage, the emotional weight of Nicole's death on his shoulders. And, you know, you hope. You know, if there hadn't been a third game, you kind of hope that these two who have been through some shit develop at least a friendship, if nothing else. They do, of course, say that relationships that begin in stress and traumatic situations don't last, but there's exceptions that prove every rule. And, you know, a happy ending for our man who's been through some stuff wouldn't go amiss, really. But, of course, that's not the end of the story. You know, that mention of the Overseer, the Unitology Church, all of that has to be dealt with. And I have no idea if any of it is dealt with in Dead Space 3. Because, as I said a couple of episodes ago, I actually am not sure that I've played it. I thought I had, but I can't seem to find any record of me having done so, which is awkward. The only thing that I can think of is if I played it on Origin and those systems and records haven't been migrated over to EA Play. But all of the games that I definitely remember having played on EA Play are there already. So maybe I just didn't. I don't know why. Because I thought I had. So yeah. I guess now I have got Dead Space 2008 and Dead Space 2 played. I've still got 20 days before the Dead Space remake comes out. I suppose I could play Dead Space 3 now, because I've heard that they've tried to incorporate more of the background and lore from 2 and 3 into the writing and the revisions that they've made for the remake. Which makes sense. It's not like you can go back to Dead Space 2008 and fix the writing. And I say fix in the nicest possible way. I don't mean it's bad. I just mean that, you know, if they'd had the opportunity, having written Dead Space 3, to go back and drip feed some of the stuff into Dead Space 1, they would have done so. But with the remake, they have that option. They can go back and take a look at what worked in the plot. They can completely revise it by having Isaac speaking. They can take on board the hints, the audio logs, the text logs, the lore that they created for the second and third games, and they can more clearly tie things together. I know they said that they were going to talk about stuff to do with the Church of Unitology earlier in the remake. But again, how much of that they will have done, I don't know, because I haven't played it yet. I think what my general plan will be is go on to play Dead Space 3 now, play the remake when it comes out, and then maybe do some comparisons between, you know, the original and the remake, and which bits of storytelling they've taken from where. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff that I've missed in this playthrough to do with story. I think I did a reasonably good job of finding a good chunk of stuff. But you can tell from the length of the credits here that the second game had a lot more budget and a lot more people involved. And you can tell from the gameplay as well. I still think, for the most part, that the first game is a more atmospheric game. I think because of the slower pace of it and the isolation of it, there's There's more of just you in Dead Space. Whereas there are more people in this. And, you know, the talking does change that dynamic. Having Isaac being able to say things does change that dynamic. So it'll be interesting to see whether they will be able to capture any kind of sense of isolation in the first one. It depends how they do it. I really enjoyed the story, though. There was definitely a greater focus on story and speed in Dead Space 2. I don't think the precision was there. I think the precision in combat actually took a step back. I feel like aiming with the plasma cutter in 1 was easier. I'm not sure. One thing that I would have liked a little bit more of an explanation of is the regenerator guy. Now, how was it created in the first game? Wasn't that to do with a scientist experimenting on it? So I guess that must be why... Maybe Swearingen? I guess that's why there was a regenerator boy in the second one as well? Because that was... otherwise an odd choice. That final kind of psychedelic in marker space boss, I can't call it a boss fight really, can I? A gauntlet-y type thing. That was interesting, hectic. The walk up to where we killed Tideman, I think, could have been a bit clearer with what was going on. And I really dislike, I have to admit, I really dislike hammering buttons. Having the option for holding the button is much better for people like me with not particularly great hands. There's a lot of thanks and stuff in this, isn't there? But I suppose there were a lot more people involved in the production of the game. Enjoyed Dead Space 2 greatly. Is it as atmospheric as the first one? No. Is it as precise as the first one? No, but it has more options. It's clearly a superior game in a lot of technical senses. It's definitely a superior game in terms of storytelling for emotional moments. But I'd say I'd put them on a par if I could average them out.
This is Flight Team EG9 to Control. We have completed the flyby. There's nothing left. I repeat, Titan Station has been completely destroyed.
And the marker?
Negative. Nothing survived this, sir. Marker Site 12 is a total loss.
Pity. Recall all flights and return to base. The other sites will have to pick up the pieces.
Oh. The other sites. Prototype suits unlocked. Elite suit versions and security suit variants unlocked in New Game Plus. Look for new items in the store and for schematics lost in the sprawl to gain access to this experimental technology. Hardcore mode. You've unlocked the hardcore mode, in which you will find the bare minimum of health and ammo to stay alive. When you die, you restart from your last save. You can only save 3 times. New Game Plus. You've unlocked the New Game Plus mode. Suits and weapons from your prior playthrough will be available in the first store, as opposed to just being put on your character. Or I suppose you start off in the asylum, don't you? So it wouldn't make sense. Well, oh, they've changed the menu. We've now got a giant marker here, as well as some funky text to go with. That's really nicely realised, actually. Dead Space 2. Really enjoyed playing that. remembered very little of it, apparently. I remember Ellie getting her eyes stabbed out. I remember the moving walkways. And I remembered Ellie coming back to rescue us at the end. And that's it. So, going to the Ishimura. Yep, couldn't remember that at all. Nicole/Marco betraying us. Didn't remember that at all. You'd think that'd be something I'd remember, actually, considering my general interest in that kind of story plotting. Nope, none of that. Good game. Really good game. Hopefully you've enjoyed listening to and watching me play Dead Space 2. Be really interested to see whether, if the remake of Dead Space 1 does well, whether 2 will get a remake and or expansion. I do feel like the first, probably third to half of Dead Space 2 could do with a bit of something to improve its kind of feel and pacing. I still can't put my finger on exactly what was niggling me about the first, maybe third to half of the game. It just didn't feel as... I don't know. Let me know. If you've played Dead Space 1 and 2, which is your preferred game and why? I'm not shitting on either of them. By the way, I think they're both really good games. I think the second half of Dead Space 2 better than the first half, and I think Dead Space 1 is on a par with the second half of Dead Space 2. But Dead Space 2 knocks it out of the park, I think, for story, just because I think the story is cleverly done. Until next time, look out, I guess, for Dead Space 3. And some thoughts about that, and then some thoughts about the remake. Thanks for watching. Good night. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.